on. You want to make sure that your oven is on 200 degrees because we want it nice and hot and preheated, because we want to get that nice crunchiness on the outside, but we're going to make it nice and soft and fluffy on the inside. Just give me a second because you guys have just started recording, so I'm just going to move. I can't see you guys. So it's very interactive. I'm actually working out of a different space today because I'm coming from Fed Square at the moment. So you're getting a little insight into our kitchen here at our new restaurant. And so I get to work out of here today. So first things first is that you always got to remember that your oven should be preheated and that you've got 3 ingredients in your fridge. And that is your flour, your butter, and just water out of the tap. And hands up, you guys have your kits, yes? Is that correct? Yeah? So you have your kits. Now in your kits, the flour that you have there will make you 1 damper, okay? That will only make you 1. But if you want to halve it into 2 and make 2, you can. And I always recommend you make 2 dampers. You know why? Because the first one's going to be so delicious when you eat it, it'll be gone, and then you won't have the second one to share with anyone. So you got to just have 1 for a spare. Because it'll be, once you put that golden syrup butter on top and, you know, start eating it, you're not going to share the damper with anyone else. So I recommend you make 2. So that's why we've got the 2 packs of the natives that we've got there as well. So we're going to start off by making what I call the coffee scroll. This is the black man coffee scroll, you know? So that's what wattle seeds is to me. So you guys, I want you to open up your wattle seeds, have a smell, have a little taste. Can anybody shoot out? So feel free to take yourselves off mute because I like it to be interactive, and because I can see what you guys are doing as well, it's sometimes quite fun to actually have a chat along the way, because that way I can say, hey, you seem like your damper is going to be very dense there because you didn't put enough water in it, you know? So I'm going to give you tips like that as we go. So can anybody tell me what they think they can smell and maybe taste from their wattle seeds?
Yeah, I've already had to have a bit of a go at it beforehand because the oven's a bit dodgy. So I get a little bit ahead of the game. There's a wattle seed damper in the oven right now, and I just thought,
awesome,
see how it's going. But yeah, it was yeah, it's really nice. I mean, because I obviously also had a little sniff of the saltbush and stuff as well. But I decided I would go with the coffee scroll idea because that.
Yes. So can anybody else tell me what they can smell in their packs? Go ahead.
I'm definitely getting like a coffee grounds scent, but also like just like sawdust sort of, but like a pleasant sawdust kind of smell.
Yeah, that's great. Like those are all good things. So that's why I call it the black man's coffee scroll, this one, because you know, if you're somebody like me who is caffeine free, like, you know, I'm allergic to caffeine, so no coffee runs through these veins. Wow. So I like to use wattle seeds as that alternative because it gives me those bitter chocolate flavors to it as well, because that's what comes off it after you taste it. So when we make this damper, you'll have that poppy seed effect. So it'll give you all those nice sort of little poppy seed kind of granules, because wattle seed is still a seed. So you'll see the little speckles that will go through. But also when you make it and when we start making it, it will start to change the color of your dough as well. So first things first, in your kits, that damper kit that you've got, that will make you 1 damper. So you need to have some extra self-raising flour, okay? That in your thing is 3 cups of flour. So first thing first, we start with 3 cups of flour. Now you may, if you are just cooking for yourself, you can do it by halves, all right? So you can make 2 smaller ones. That way you have a taste of both. And we'll just adjust the water for you. So 3 cups of flour, then you've got 2 tablespoons of butter, okay? So 2 tablespoons of butter goes in. And then this is where you get your hands dirty, all right? Damper is not a clean spot, people. You're gonna get a little thing. I always get it all over the dog, and then she licks it up, and you know. So you got an instant vacuum around if you do have one of those at home. Otherwise, you can just vacuum it up later. So get your hands in there and then smoosh the butter between your hands and the flour to mix it all in, okay? Everybody's still struggling opening their flour. So There we go. Put your flour in. Remember, all that flour that you've got in your pack will make one damper, right? So if you want to make 2 smaller ones, just put a cup and a half in each. But make sure you've got some extra flour for kneading, okay? Now, if you don't have self-raising flour at home as well, you can use some plain flour. Just make sure you have baking powder, and always put in an extra bit of baking powder. Don't put too little because you want your damper to rise. So this one we're going to make a little bit more traditional. So it's going to have those traditional looks. Hands up if you had damper at camp. Did you have damper at camp? And was it like a little bit hard, when you ate it and you're sort of like, oh, maybe that's not for me? Well, we're not going to do that. We're going to make it better. All right, we're going to make a nicer one. So, and remember, if you make good dampers at home, that's because of me. But I mean, like I'm just saying, but if you do make something that doesn't look quite right, that's on you, I think, it's not on me. So just so you know. So
only the damper I made in primary school was probably good enough to build a house with. So I'm sure it's not to be anything to what you're cooking today.
You can only go up from there using your bricks.
Exactly. So I'm going to tell you the big secret about making good fluffy damper today. And you won't believe what it is. It's a simple thing to remember when you're making. So make sure that when you're mixing in that butter into your flour, that it's really mixed in. So if you're only just putting your butter in, it's 2 tablespoons, okay? So make sure, rub your hands together. See what I'm doing with my hands? To rub the butter in, because you don't want to have chunks of butter in there when you go to start kneading, because it'll get a bit slippery on you. So make sure that you mix it all in. Now get your wattle seeds out and pour them into your mix now after all your butter has been mixed in. So I've got my wattle seeds here. Put my wattle seeds in there. And now what you'll notice is when you put your wattle seeds in, just give them a good mix around. The reason why I like to make this wattle seed damper on its own, because I want the wattle seed to shine. So you really can taste what wattle seed can give you. Not only will it change the flavor of your dough, but it'll also give you those nice colors as well that will come off it. So you should be able to start smelling it. Can you guys smell your wattle seeds coming through your dough now already? You should be able
I'm still working on the butter step.
You're still on the butter step? That's all right. We'll slow down a little bit. Everybody, remember, when you're mixing your butter, hold your butter and your flour between your hands, because this is the best way to mix your butter. And it's a lot quicker. If you mix it like this, you'll be there for a while. Okay? So you want to just get your hands in there and really get your hands and mix that butter in, because all the flour will be all taken up from it. So how are we going with your mixing of your butter? Hands up if you got your wattle seeds in yet.
I'm just putting mine in now.
Yeah, all right, that's okay. Everybody's worried about their butter. I can see it. There's intense faces about butter in there. Butter.
I just have such a tiny bowl. It's got about 4 cups worth of space, and I've got 3 cups of flour in there. So I'm trying to not throw the flour everywhere.
All right, you know the best trick if you don't have like big bowls in your house is use your big saucepans. Always, if you don't have big bowls, always use a big saucepan. Trust me, Black people, we know what to use as alternatives. Always got to make a home kitchen is what it always happens. Use anything to make it easier for yourself.
Just quickly, Nornie, it's 1 tablespoon of wattle seed, yeah? Just because I've got the jar.
Yeah. You probably, you just want 1 tablespoon, that's all.
Cool.
How are we going there? Are we getting, there's some funny confused face about the mix of their flour.
The bag is 1 tablespoon, right? Because I just chuck the whole bag in.
Yeah, that's right. You just, you with the kids, just throw the whole bag in. Everybody was like, oh my God, was I supposed to throw it in? Yes. Yeah, you were. Don't worry.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just restarting it.
Just freak all of you out. Everybody's like, oh my God, that's not what throw your wattle seeds in. That's it. Now you should start, just get your wattle seeds together, because now, can we give it a thumbs up that we're all up to putting our wattle seeds in yet? Yep. Okay, great. All right, wattle seeds are in. Now this is the big secret about making really good damper. And all it is how much liquid you put in. Now, that is the big secret. The point that sometimes people make is that they always put very little water in, and then it's very dense and hard. So if you have to push down with your body weight when you're kneading, the harder your damper and the denser your damper is going to be. So we want some nice sticky doughs right now that we can have a sticky dough to then knead at the end of this. So we're going to be putting about 1.5 cups of water in our thing. So I usually, now, mistake that everybody does is they mix with 2 hands. When you put your water in, mix with 1 hand. If you're like me and you've got a few damper extra arms on the sides here, you know, this is like one is damper, one is golden syrup. So, you know, you got an extra little hand. I got an extra belly that'll hold the bowl. So you pour the water in and just mix with 1 hand so that you only have 1 sticky hand when you go to start. Because you don't want to have 2 sticky hands trying to pull out your damper and then going to knead, okay? So pour your water in and mix at the same time. Now, remember, we want a nice sticky dough, so about 1.5 cups of water.
Does it matter?
Show you how sticky your dough is going to get.
Does it matter what temperature the water is?
Cold water, okay?
Yes.
Cold water is what you want. So you can see here, can you guys see in my bowl there? See how sticky my dough is? I've got a really nice and sticky in there. Now we want it to be like that because remember, we're going to knead, which means we're going to add more water to it. But the one thing you guys should remember about wattle seeds is that it is a natural thickener as well. So when you knead, it needs a little bit extra water. So you want a nice, really sticky dough. So mine's not exactly quite there because I want it a bit more sticky because remember, I'm going to add more flour to it when I knead. So you can see here now is that I've got a really nice sticky dough, but remember, I'm going to knead and add more flour to it. Because what's going to happen is when you start cooking your wattle seed damper in the oven as well, those wattle seeds will suck up all the liquid because it is a natural thickener. So you want to make sure you have a good balance between the two when you're making it. So now I'm going to just put some flour on my bench top, a bit of flour, still using the hand that I have all the stickiness on. Take my sticky dough out. You can see it is very sticky. Hands up, you can smell the wattle seeds coming through on your dough now. Yes, you can smell it. That's going to be a really nice smell. You should be able to see all the nice speckles coming through too as well from it. So now I've got my sticky dough on the bench top. I'm going to put a bit more flour on top because it is very sticky. And with that sticky hand that I put some flour on it. Put some flour on your sticky hands and then just rub your hands together so that you start kneading with clean hands. Okay? You want to always knead with clean hands, not sticky hands, because otherwise you're just going to, your hand will continuously, yep, that's a good sticky dough there.
Is that sticky enough?
Yeah, I think you're ready. Yours has got really.
I accidentally used both hands, so I now have to work out how to get it off so I can get some flour.
Yep, there's some beautiful doughs there. Yeah, perfect. That doesn't matter. I'll tell you a good trick. Once you got your dough onto your bench top, grab some flour, put it on.
I haven't got it on the bench top yet. I still have all my flour in a bag.
Get your flour, put some flour on your bench top, put your flour, some flour on top of your thing. So can you guys see? I've got flour on the bottom of my bench top and then I put some more flour on the top. I also put a whole bunch of flour on my hands so I could rub all the sticky dough off. And now I'm going to start kneading with some clean hands.
Just quickly, how's our dough looking in terms of like, it looks a bit.
Oh, yours is a bit liquidy. Can you add some more flour to yours, please? Yeah, mix it around. You want to make sure that you can hold it in your hand, you know? So show me how your dough is going now. So you can see when I press down on mine, it's a nice soft dough, but it's not sticking to my hands. Yeah, I think you guys can put a little bit more flour, please. More flour on yours. I can see a lot of you have really sticky hands. Remember, get some extra flour on those hands and then just swipe your hands together so that you have nice clean hands to knead with. I think you guys are good now because remember you're going to put some flour on the bottom and then on top.
Just quickly, Nornie, how does that look? I'm not really sure if it's
Yeah, I
going to
think
be a
you're
bit.
good. You're good to now. You're good to go. Yeah.
I was
Everybody,
like, I can't tell if it's too wet. Like,
if you guys think it's too wet, you can always just add a bit more flour, okay? Just make sure it's nicely mixed around.
Oh no.
Everybody's so serious about their stickiness. There's going to be some very interesting dampers today.
I'm excited to learn how to. Look, you would think that I would have already known how to make damper, but because Tish, my sister, just makes damper instead, and she makes it so yum. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just happy with you making it, but I'm excited to actually know how to do it.
Well, this is an easy way of doing it. So always remember, yeah, you guys, hands up if you've got it on the bench top now. Yeah, you guys got it on your bench top. So you got your flour on the bottom and on the top of it, and you got nice clean hands to start kneading with. I can still see some sticky hands there to start kneading with. Make sure you put some flour between your hands. Rub them really well together because that will get all the stickiness off. Because when you go to knead, you don't want the dough to keep sticking to your hands, otherwise you won't get to knead it. So you can see here, because I have clean hands, I've just put some flour on my hands, and then all I've got to do is just picking, I'm guiding with one hand, like a nice round circle, and I'm picking from the bottom and pushing with the palm of my hand into the center, okay? And anytime it feels sticky, just put the extra flour that you've got on your bench top, just put it on your hands and keep going. So you can see my whole upper body is not moving because my dough is really nice and soft. That's what you want. You want your dough to be nice and soft, but remember, because we put extra flour on there, it's starting to shape itself. I can see some really good doughs going on there now.
Can I ask, do you think this is sticky enough?
Yeah, no, that's perfect. That's beautiful. Okay. You've got a really beautiful dough there. There's some doughs there. I can see some really good ones. You're going to have some nice fluffy damper.
Nice.
Well done. Everyone got there in the end. Everyone got there. Well done, everyone. Everyone got there in the end. So make yourself a nice...
Do you have any techniques?
Sorry?
We're a bit behind. Do you have any techniques for how to knead? Because we've only just put on the flour.
Yeah, sure. Just put it on your bench top and I'll go through with it with you. Put your dough on your bench top. Make sure there's some flour on the bottom and then some flour on the top, and make sure your hands are nicely dusted with the flour or the excess on the bench top. Oh, you guys have some beautiful doughs there, I can see. Some nice camera shots of your doughs are looking really well. And then what you want to do is make sure you go in a round circle. So one hand is going to guide it and push it in a circular motion. And the other hand is going to pull up from the bottom. And then with the palm of your hand is what you're going to use to knead with. So you're going to pick up with your fingertips and then push down that little bit into the palm of the hand, into the center, while your other hand is sort of guiding it to go around in a circle.
If it starts sticking to the table, do we add some more flour to the table?
Yeah, just add some more flour underneath it, okay?
How's this post knead?
Yeah, that's looking great. Awesome.
Okay, perfect.
I think you need to knead yours a little bit more though first, because you want a nice smooth dough, all right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So once you're kneading, now the secret is when you're kneading it into the center, okay? So you're gonna have this center little look that it's gonna be there. So once you knead it into the center, it'll start overlapping itself. And then after it overlaps itself really nicely, you're gonna turn your dough over so that turn your doughs over now from where you're kneading. So the underside is where the kneading has happened. The center, turn your doughs over so you can see the other side of your doughs. So try for yours. You want to turn yours over now? Turn yours over, that's it. Now you don't want to knead it anymore. You want to just tuck it on the sides because you've already done all the kneading for it. And then just so it's a nice little bread loaf, because remember, this is the one that's going to cook really quickly because we're making this a bit more traditional bake. So yeah, look, you guys have some nice loaves there. That's looking good. Well done. All right, now get yourself a tray, a baking tray. So just any little baking tray. just put a little bit of flour on the bottom of your baking so that your damper doesn't stick. You guys can get a bit fancy if you want to. You can have a little cut. Now, those of you who are still kneading there, now once you knead into the center, those of you that your hands are sticking to your dough, just put a bit more. Just use that excess flour on the side of your bench tops to rub on your hands. That will help you from your hands not sticking to your dough, okay? That's it. Get your nice little round doughs. Put them into the tray. Put them into your tray. And then I want you to pop it in your oven straight in the middle, okay? Straight in the middle, into your ovens. I'm gonna put mine in the oven. So let's have a look where you're up to there. I think you guys need a little bit more flour on top. Yeah, that's some good kneading there. So once you knead on the top, then I want you to flip it over, okay? So just flip it over and then make yourself a nice little bread loaf, like a round bread loaf. And then perfect, put it into your tray. Make sure that you put a good bit of flour on the bottom of your trays. I love the intense faces that people really want to get these damper right, you know?
I've got the extra challenge of I'm trying to do it gluten-free. And it's very hard to make good gluten-free bread. So I want to do all the steps right to give it the best chance.
Awesome. Did you use gluten-free self-raising flour?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you should be good. Sometimes there's a good tip is to add some tapioca flour to that too.
Oh, okay.
You know, things like tapioca flour because it actually does an extra caking for it too.
It's already got tapioca starch in it.
Yeah, those are really good things, and also rice flour too helps add to it. So you'll be at a really good point.
Sorry, just with my one, is that ready to sort of be like formed into a roll?
Sorry?
With my one, is this kneaded enough? Is it ready?
Yeah, yep, you've got a really nice round circle there. Yep, perfect. I reckon you're ready to go in the tray now.
Okay, and you put, what do you put on the tray?
Yeah, put some flour on your tray. Just a little bit of flour so that your damper doesn't stick to your tray. And then just a little bit on the bottom. It's just to help it not stick to it. Pop your dough on top. Well, making it look pretty. I like it. I like it. There's some little action going on there. I see someone's been watching those cooking shows to make it a little bit more fancy on top. Well done. A little bit of extra pizzazz there. I like it. All right, pop that into your tray and pop it in the oven, and then you put a timer on for 35 minutes, okay? So hopefully by the end of this, we might be able to taste one. Well, I'll taste one and you guys can wait for yours. I think that's how it's gonna happen, but I'm not sure yet, you know? So you've put your first one in. Well done. Everybody thumbs up that you put your first ones in. Yes. Oh my God. Now the second one's going to be a breeze. You know, the first one was the hard bit. The second one is like, oh my God, yay. Now, hands up if you did cook your pumpkins though. Oh, yes. Yeah, we got some hands up there. Those of you, no, there is a few that didn't do their pumpkins, did they?
Oh, we still have it, but we haven't cut it or anything.
Well,
I'm here.
So the recipe was for roasted cooked pumpkin. So those of you who don't have pumpkin, it doesn't matter because you can just make saltbush, okay? So I'm going to just teach you how to do the pumpkin and the saltbush together, because what I wanted to show you guys is that damper is very versatile. So when you want to add vegetables to something like pumpkins, it gives you this vibrant natural color, but it also gives you vegetable in it as well. I call it the cheat damper. You know, if you're a terrible person like me who barely likes to eat a vegetable, you know, this is a good way to hide a vegetable in there when you can have it in bread too. So, you know, this is the cheat damper. And also, oh guys, it's time for you guys to open up your salt bushes, please. Open your salt bush up. Oh, don't worry about your benchtop being thin because you're going to make another anyway. Open your salt bush up. Have a little taste, have a little smell. Can anybody tell me what they can smell or taste, please?
I can feel struggle trying to get into the zip seal bag.
The struggle is real, all right? It's real.
It smells so familiar, but I can't put my
Yeah, it does smell quite familiar, doesn't it?
It smells sort of like a gum or some sort of flour.
Yeah, so when you think about it, like, you know, saltbush has those salty, and now have a taste of it. So the saltbush that you guys have there, primarily most of the saltbush that is used in cooking is called the old man saltbush, which I find, why would you call it old man saltbush? So I'm just going to call it the black man's oregano because that sounds much better, all right? Because that's exactly what I use it for. So, you know, you've got those beautiful saltinesses already. So saltbush gives you two things. Not only does it give you a finish of a salty and additive, but it also gives you that earthy oregano feel to it as well. So you've got all those kind of like bits to it. But saltbush actually comes in all different types of forms. So this is the old man saltbush that we normally see on those little crispy bits that you taste. That's where this comes from. But if you're in Victoria, the best saltbush that we can grow here are more things like the sea saltbush, the ruby saltbush. Those are really great to grow down here in Victoria. Old man saltbush likes a lot of sun, you know, so that's in different parts of Australia that it'll grow. But this is the one that you're using that we normally cook with. But down here, you can get beautiful saltbush that is like sea saltbush and ruby saltbush, which are less saltier, but more oregano feel to them. So they've got those really earthy sort of flavors to them. So this is what I like about, like saltbush and wattleseed are my top 5 of the spices that I love using in cooking. So this one is, I'm going to be using the pumpkin. I think Jasper, you put your hand up there and said that you had your pumpkin cooked, didn't you? Well done, mate. I noticed the thumbs up there.
I'm so devastated because the pumpkin damper is amazing, like amazing.
Okay, so we've got just those of you who have your pumpkin though, you can put it in. You can put it in the oven now and roast it off and then just add it to it later if you want to. And don't put your damper in the oven just yet until your pumpkin is cooked. But I'm going to show you how to make it anyway. Because I want to show you that when you're using root vegetables and such, you can add them to your, because you know what focaccia bread is? Focaccia bread is just bread with herbs on top, you know? So what we're doing is basically making a herbed, you know, vegetable damper here. And the reason why I say that is because this is your time to shine and use all those extra ingredients that you have at home and get a bit creative. So that means like if you've got those extra herbs lying around in your crisper, which if you are an avid cook, you know, you might have that extra, you know, you might have a bunch of parsley or thyme in there that a recipe told you only to use 3 sprigs, and then you got a whole bunch. And then you're like, what am I going to use the rest for? And then eventually it makes its way to the compost bin because you didn't use it yet. So this is your...
I definitely don't know that feeling. It's never happened before.
So this is your opportunity to really use all those extra herbs that you have sitting around too. And even all those herbs that you have in your cupboard as well, in your dry goods, because we know that everybody's probably got about 10 bottles of coriander seeds because they keep forgetting they have it at home when they buy something, you know? So this is the opportunity to use those extra herbs too as well. So again, we want 3 cups of flour. I know some of you only use half. Sorry?
You use spices, like leftover spices in your kitchen?
Yes, exactly. This is your opportunity to use leftover spices because you don't have your pumpkins there. Why not make something where you can actually have all those favorite spices that you like to use, put them in there too as well, because damper really sucks up all those flavors. So again, 3 cups of flour, or some of you are doing half, so 1.5 cups.
Nornie, can I just quickly say I'm going to have to jump out, but my damper is nearly ready.
Yay!
Yeah, and I mean, I actually, because I did it more in a roll and I used the banana leaf.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean,
use the banana leaf now, everyone. So don't worry.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just wondered because I mean, it looks more like I think like a steamed damper.
Yeah. Well, the first one we just made as more traditionally looking that you would have at school camp. Now this one you're going to make island style, which is in the banana leaf.
Okay, all right, good. Well, thank you. It's been awesome, and I hope everyone's dampers turn out absolutely beautiful. So
awesome.
yeah. Okay, see ya. Okay, bye.
So your 3 cups of flour in. Get your 2 tablespoons of butter. 2 tablespoons of butter in there, and again, give it a good mix around. Now, this is we're going to use our banana leaves now because we're going to make this damper island style because island people, we love cooking everything in banana leaf, you know? So this one, we're going to steam bake it. So we're going to make it a little bit different. So those bananas that you guys have. So did you guys put your butter in and your flour in and mix it all around? So now, those of you who are using extra spices, can you tell me what you're going to use?
That for next time. I just wanted to know.
Oh, okay. Now, with your saltbush that we've given you, you need to use all of it because remember, it is quite salty. So you can use half of it, okay? So just use half of it to put it in there because you don't want it to be too salty because saltbush is very salty. So you just want a half a teaspoon in there, half a teaspoon into your mix. Give it a good mix around. Now I've got my pumpkins here. I've got my pumpkins already roasted off. I'm going to add that to my mix as well. I've got my roasted pumpkins here. And I just want to show you guys how to do this because this is a good opportunity to understand that you don't need to use food colorings and stuff when you're making stuff because there's natural stuff out there that we should be using. So I've got my pumpkins in there. And because I've got that pumpkin in there, the juice of the pumpkin is going to give me a lot of the liquid that I need. So just put it in there and just squish it about, okay? Get your hands in there and mix your damper. If you've got your pumpkins, I know Jasper's got his. So he's popping it in. And you can see a lot of my flour is being eaten up by my pumpkins because I've got all the liquid from there. But those of you who don't have your liquid, you're going to have to put that 1.5 cups of water in there again. But those who only did a half one, you want to start with a cup of water so that you don't have to be too sticky. And because I've got a lot of juice that's come off my pumpkins, I'm only going to put about 1/2 cup of water in to make mine sticky because I got a lot of liquid off those pumpkins. So you can see that my dough is really nice and sticky here from my pumpkins. And I've got that beautiful orange, vibrant color for it too as well. So the pumpkins are all mixed in there. How's yours, Jasper? Did you get your pumpkins in there? No, not yet.
The pumpkins are halfway prepped.
Pumpkins are halfway prepped there. So I put a bit of flour on my bench top. Get my dough out. You can see my nice dough there.
Pumpkins? What did
you guys see how nice and orange that is now? So that's got a really beautiful orange look to it. It has chunks of pumpkin in there, but a lot of that mushed up pumpkin has given it that color that you want it to come from. So get some more flour on top. I've got really sticky hands, so I'm just gonna mix my hands, make sure that I get all that flour off so that I start kneading with cleaner hands. The flour on there. Start kneading with cleaner hands. Now, when you're using your saltbush as well, remember that other half now, you can use it in any type of your cooking as well. So if you want to do it on your roasts or put it into your mixes, you can definitely use that too as well. So it actually works out really well. So all nice and ready. So you can see my dough is really nice and soft when I push it down. So that means I'm going to have a nice sort of moist dough. How are you guys going? Are you still in your bowls? I know some of you are putting your pumpkins in.
Yeah, I'm just putting the saltbush in, but I was just going to ask. I'm thinking of throwing maybe like some thyme in. Would that go well with it?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, go for it. if there's anything else that you might have, like I always like things like spinach as well. If you've got some spinach to chop up, pop it in there too as well, because it's nice to put some spinach in there. If you've got that sitting in your things, or any kind of herbs like your parsleys or your chives and stuff like that, always really nice to go in there as well.
I think Liam has a question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Liam, what's your question, love?
Yeah, sorry, just with the pumpkin, when you roasted it, did you leave this on or cut it off?
No, I cut it off.
Okay.
Yeah, I cut it off. You guys look like you've got some nice sticky dough there now. I wouldn't put any more. Yeah, I wouldn't put any more water in. Now, are you going to add your pumpkin in? Or are you going to make your saltbush, or will you make your pumpkin later?
Yeah, we'll make our pumpkin later. Like we'll do another.
Well, that's good. So then you're ready to go onto the bench top with yours. So
I really love cajun spice. I feel like that would go in here really well.
Sorry, say that again.
I really love Cajun spice. I feel like that would mix really well with the pumpkin.
Yeah, perfect. Those are good matches. Even paprika is really good match as well. Paprika and pumpkin love each other. You know, just make sure you don't overpower them though. So make sure now, if you do have your pumpkin in there, Jasper, when you go to knead, you want to make sure you give it a little bit of an extra knead, because you want that pumpkin to come through, and you don't want just the flour to hold on to it. And then when you cut into your damper later on, it's a bit floury. So make sure that you really mix in your pumpkins in there. So give it a knead. Anytime it gets sticky, just put some more flour, obviously, on your bench top. Now with this one, we're going to roll it into a loaf this time. Okay, we're going to roll it into a loaf. So once you've kneaded, get it on the board, knead it out, and then we're going to roll it into a loaf, because we're going to use our banana leaves now to wrap it up. So nice. Just going to roll it out into a loaf. Roll it out into a loaf. So it's nicely done. So that's my loaf ready to go into my banana leaf.
Just a question, Nornie, that maybe you might be able to share a little bit with some of the other students, you know, talking about this being like, not this recipe, but the first recipe of damper being like, you know, like damper that you grew up with. Would you say, you know, thinking about it and associating it with bread, would you say the different island groups, you know, have sort of like, I guess, like flavors that they're really well known to do their damper with?
Mean, yes, everybody does. Like the islands are very different. They're all grouped into like, you know, 4 different groups, and you know, they all sitting as 5. You know, because you got to do PI and mainland, but you know, they all have different flavors. They all have different dialects, so they all have specialties that they do really, really well. And I'm from Mer, so we have that island cooking from there, and we use a lot of different. But I'm lucky. I grew up on 2 different islands, which is Mer and Moa. So I get to have cooking from both islands, which is great. And it really works out, because some flavors would be different, because some islands are surrounded by really nice reefs and some islands are not surrounded by really nice reefs. So it depends on what the beautiful fruit and vegetables that you can get, depends on what you cook. And mine was always yams, which is we call maniota. So a lot of cassava. So I grew up with tapioca flour, but also what we did was we used to use the tapioca starch for baking as well. So we would grate the tapioca ourselves, we'll grate the cassava ourselves, drain off the liquid, and then when you drain off the liquid, the starch will settle to the bottom, and we use that for baking as well. So there are a few different elements that we like to add into our dishes, but this damper, this pumpkin one is just a really good recipe that my dad and so the first thing he taught me how to make, because we would grow everything. I grew up with planting and basically ocean dwelling food my whole entire life. And this is the first bread that he took after fried scones, after fried scones.
which, you know, are amazing, so much better than baked scones. Just a quick note for everyone.
The next one is going to be fried scones, right? So now that everybody's got their loaf ready to go. All right, now get your banana leaf. The banana leaves that you have, open them up. Open your banana leaves out of your little cases that we gave you. If you don't have a banana leaf, you can use baking paper, okay? You don't have banana leaf. So your banana leaf should be out of your packs. Now, what I want you to do is turn your stove tops on, okay? I've got my stove top in the back here. So just turn it on to nice and high. And what we're gonna do, I'm gonna show you this, pretend this is the hob. Now, if you have an electric stove, you can put a big pan on and do the same thing where we can do. And then what we're gonna do is put our banana leaf on the hob, and we're gonna count to 5 seconds. And then we're gonna see all the oils and all the oils come through. And then we're gonna move it across until the whole leaf is done, okay? And we wanna get all the flavors out of there and all the oils, okay? Now, make sure you give your banana leaves a little bit of a wash before you use them. Give them a little bit of wash. So all I'm gonna do, so you can see, I hope you guys can see this. I'm just popping it straight onto the heat, counting to 5, and I already start to see the oils coming through already, and then moving it across. Because why you wanna do that is so that the banana leaf is more flexible to use, but also that you get all the nice flavors out of it too. All those nice oils.
So do you just stick it straight on the flames?
Yeah, straight onto the flames. So you can see now, because I put that on the flames, can you see the oiliness now? The shininess and the oiliness that's come through? That's what we want to see. Okay, you want to see the oiliness come through. Count to 5 seconds. Once you put it on, count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you should start to see the oils start to come through. So it's nice and shiny. One side will look like really shiny and oily, which is the side that looks up to the sun. That's the leaf. And on the other side will be a bit more matte and it's a bit more smoother. That's the side of the leaf that looks to the ground. So what you want to do now is lie down the sun side down. So the shiny little oily side down on the bench top. Did you guys see the oils come through your banana leaves? See the oils come through when you're burning it off?
Oh, we're just about to do that now. Just quickly, what shape should the dough be? I can see you've got more of like a long shape as opposed to like a...
Yeah, so what we want is a log, okay? We want a nice log, like a bread loaf log. Because what we're going to do is we're going to pop it in the center like this of our banana leaf, because we're going to wrap it up so that it steams in a loaf. Okay, so when it steams in a loaf, then you can slice pieces off and eat them from a loaf, okay? And we're going to steam bake it. So
Thank you.
Sorry, I was going to ask, I don't have banana leaves. Do I have to wrap it in baking paper or can I just put it straight into the foil? Oh, I guess it'll stick to the foil.
Yep,
yeah, cool.
You answered that question for me. Yeah. I was like, yes, you need to put the baking paper because it will stick to the foil.
Cool.
With the saltbush, did you say half tablespoon or half teaspoon?
Just half a teaspoon. Because it is very salty. You don't want to overpower it. How's everybody going with their leaf? Are they counting to 5 and moving it across?
I'm still waiting for my pumpkin to cook.
Yay!
Same with us, yeah.
Your pumpkins are going to take a long time, guys, okay? Your pumpkin will take at least 30 minutes to cook. Unless you put it in the microwave, if you guys have one, it may get down to maybe 10, 15 minutes.
I just cut it really small and I'll check on it regularly.
Yeah, but just follow the steps after it's cooked. Like follow these same steps because all you're going to do is just add it in later. Now, remember, if you've already made your dough and you're waiting for your pumpkin, you'll need a little bit more flour because remember the pumpkins are juicy, yeah?
Okay, thanks, we'll do that.
Your dampers will get wetter. So make sure you add a bit more flour to them once the pumpkins come out. You don't want to have too liquidy. You want to add some more flour. So did you guys can I get a head nod that you could see all the nice oils come through and it's ready to go? Yep, perfect. All right. You put it on your bench tops, then put your banana leaves down, put your dough in the center of your leaves, please. Your dough in the center, because now we're going to wrap it up like a burrito. So both sides, you want to wrap it over, and then we're going to fold. You guys watching? Yeah, because I can see some people aren't ready yet. So I'll wait for you, Jasper. Don't worry, I'll wait for you, mate. It's all good. All right, pop your dampers in the center of your leaf. And then what we want to do is wrap both sides. So tuck one side over first, then the other side, and then fold it over and wrap it over like a burrito. Roll it over like a wrap. If you were to make yourself a wrap at home, and wrap it over, leave it in the nice little wet. Now get yourself some foil. Now you want to get a good bit of foil because you don't want it to, so about the size of your body. So you're like, your body from your head to about your hips is how big your bit of foil should be, all right? Yeah, about from your under your neck to your waist. So a good bit of foil because you don't want your damper to ooze out, okay? So now that you've wrapped your damper, put your damper into your foil exactly the same way that you put your leaf. Shiny side down. And again, we're going to wrap it on both sides so it doesn't ooze out. Tuck in both sides again. But this time when we go to roll it over, I want you to roll it over nice and tight, okay? Because remember, we're making we don't want it to ooze out because it will expand, but we also want to make that nice loaf as well. So tuck it in and then fold it over. So it's in a nice loaf like that. Guys get a nice loaf like this? Yes, awesome. Yeah, yay! Look at that, awesome. Liam, you guys did well there. Yeah, all right, Jasper's got his very special rolling there of the foil. Now, all you got to do, because it's already wrapped up in the foil, is just pop it on the shelf in the oven. That's it. And it's ready to rock. So pop it in your oven.
I'm going to pop it next to the other one.
Yeah. Pop it in your oven. And that's it. Well done, everybody. You know what? Did anybody try to make sourdough during lockdown? Well, now, you know what? You don't have to because it was a waste of time and you should be making more damper anyway.
Yeah,
I tried to make feta bread.
Ah, awesome. All right. Well done, everyone. Because you know what? You guys did 2 dampers in less than a Netflix episode. So well done. Very good. You know, so you got a lot of time still on your hands to do everything else. Now give your hands a little wash because we're going to make our golden syrup butter to go with it. And I would suggest that anybody put their timers on for their first ones, the 35-minute. So can anybody tell me what times you guys have left?
I've got 10 minutes to go.
I've got a fancy oven here, so mine is already, I've already taken mine out. So I'll get to show you guys. So wash your hands so that we can make the butter.
What time are we setting for the banana leaf one?
For your banana leaf one, you want 45 minutes, okay? But if it's nice and small, I'm going to show you how to check if your damper is ready anyway, okay? Because some ovens can be hotter and some ovens colder, you know, in spots of your oven. So this is an easy way. This is how my dad and my grandma taught me how to do this one, how to check if your damper is right, you know? And I still make the chefs that work for me check their dampers are like ready this way too. So the first one that we put in, so you can see here, mine is already nice and crusty on the outside here. I'm just going to give it a good tap on the bottom. It's nice and hollow. It's not wobbly, which means it's ready to rock, you know? That means, oh my God. Remember, I have a fancy oven here, everyone, so don't feel bad. You guys have domestic ones. I have like a really fancy one here. So mine is already ready to rock. Now, to make your golden syrup, you got to remember one rule. Always when you're joining butter and golden syrup together, always go 2 to 1. That means you need 2 tablespoons of butter to 1 tablespoon of golden syrup. Everybody's like, but I like golden syrup, why can't I have more? Well, you can, but it will split, okay? If you put more syrup than butter. So if you're like me and you like a little bit of good bit of butter, now it depends on how big your family size is, you know, of how much butter you're gonna make. But like I said, I already have a couple of some extra golden syrup going on here from lockdown. So I'm gonna make 2 tablespoons for mine. So 2 tablespoons of butter, and then I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of butter.
Quick question.
Yes?
I haven't got golden syrup. Can I use maple syrup instead?
You can, but I recommend go out and try it with golden syrup.
I will at some point. We just don't have any in the house.
Because it is so delicious. But yes, you can use any kind of syrup that you have at home too as well. So make sure that you do that. So I've got my butter in there, and I'm putting in my tablespoon of golden syrup now. In there. Make sure I get it all in. This is the big black man syrup, like, you know, secret. Golden syrup, butter, and mixing it together for years without telling you guys. Yeah. So all you gotta do, if you got a tiny little whisk or a fork or anything, just really give it a good whisk up, okay? Make sure that you really mix in your golden syrup and your butter together, because you want it to be really whipped, and you also want it to really be mixed in well, because you don't want like to have little butter bits. You want to really mix it in. And you want to get it to that nice golden color as well. So you can see here in my bowl, I've got it nicely whisked up. Perfect things. Now, if you have put too much syrup in and it splits a little bit, just add a little bit more butter. So don't freak out. Everybody's like, oh my God, I did it wrong. No, I did say that if you put too much syrup in, then it can split. So,
a question.
Like I had a fancy oven. So my damper is already ready, my wattleseed damper. Have you guys got all your golden syrup ready now? Some of you put your pumpkins in and you'll make your damper. Can I get a hands up that you guys are comfortable with what you have to do with your steps afterwards? Yeah. You remember what steps you have to do to put your pumpkin in? Perfect. Some of you have 10 minutes to left your wattle seed damper. Don't worry, like that will be ready to go. So I'm going to cut into my wattle seed here so you guys can have a look. So we put this together so you can see how nice that wattle seed damper is. Everybody's like, oh my God, mine is going to look like that for sure. Yes, it will. You can see how nice and fluffy it is on the inside here. It's still nice and crunchy on the outside. That's what we want. We want to have that. A nice slice. You know, see how I got a nice slice of damper there. Can you guys see that really well? Can you see that? Oh my God, yes, see the steam coming off it? Oh my God, smells delicious as well. Yes, soon you guys will be having one too. You know, so that is your beautiful slice of damper. And this is why I said you have to make 2, because look, like one slice of this is almost half gone. Well, I mean, I did slice it quite big, but I am big. So, you know, my mouth is big. I need to compensate. I'm working on my goal weight, you know, I'm maintaining it. So I need a decent size of thing. So now we just get some of our golden syrup butter here. Don't judge me on how much I'm going to put on. Remember, I have 3 hours to walk it off, you know, outside, because we're still in lockdown, technically, you know. So put all the golden syrup. Oh my God, it's melting everywhere. Melting already because it's nice and hot. Wait. Oh my God. I think my best one ever. Gotta be, right? No. So good. Wattle seeds going through my brain. Golden syrup everywhere. Too delicious not to. So a show of hands if you're going to make it again. Now, I
When
believe,
you come out the oven first.
yeah. There's
I'll let you know after I taste it.
oh my God, there's disbelief in taste.
Only on the gluten-free part. I just don't trust that it'll do what it was meant to.
Okay, you know what? The golden syrup butter is going to taste so amazing that you won't even notice the gluten-free if it doesn't work out for you. But you can do it in the gluten-free, so don't worry. It'll be perfect. It'll be beautiful.
I'm sure it will. You've taught so well.
So well done, everyone. You guys did it really well. You put 2 dampers in. Well, some of you put 2 dampers because some of you are just waiting for pumpkins, but you would have put 2 dampers in. I've got mine here that is just melting away of goodness. So I hope you guys use some more native ingredients at home, because you know why? Because it's natural to our country and we should be using it more, because it actually helps our environment to use what's naturally here. So go out, use some more, and be creative. You know, because native ingredients shouldn't be something that you're not you're worried about using, because there's so many beautiful flavors for it, and you can experiment just like you experiment with anything else. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. That's all from us here at Mabu Mabu. And I hope you enjoy your dampers, because I know you will, because your timers are almost there. And I mean, it's too delicious, isn't it? Oh my God, one more bite, I think.
Any chance you've got any advice as to where we can find info on more native spices and flavors?
Oh yeah, 100%. Native flavors and spices are coming out more and more now. So it's more easier to find. We have a whole range of native spices that we sell, but you can get them from anywhere. So we have stores around Melbourne that sell them. So if you're at Preston Market, go down to Ruby Organics, because we have some there. Oh yeah, Shai's got some there in her hands that you guys can see. Go down to Melbourne Market as well. If you're at Vic Market down at, go and see TJ's Fruiterer. They have some native spices there. Go to Ruby Organic, or if you're in Northcote, go to Northcote Bakery, because they have some native spices there that you can buy. Also go to Hagen's Butcher. They have spices there too as well. Or go on to Mount Zero. They have native spices there as well. So there is a whole bunch of places that you can get more native spices from. But my recommendation is, if you want some native in your local supermarkets or in your local grocers, ask for them. Ask for them as much as you can, because they can get them. They just don't, because you don't ask for them. So go out, make them put it on their shelves, because that's what we want to be on our shelves. And the more you ask for it, the more it will be more accessible for all of us to have.
Nornie, whereabouts is your restaurant?
Well, we have 2. We have a cafe in Yarraville, and we've just opened up in Fed Square. So you can come to both of our stores as well, because we sell all our products here as well.
Right.
And come and say hello. You know, and if any of you do happen to have a banana tree in your backyard, we can be friends for life. You know, just in case. DM me
later. Up to Queensland,
hey? Gotta go up to Queensland, that's right. So I hope you guys enjoyed making damper with me. Please make some more damper at home, and please remember, share with your neighbors, share with your friends, and join the village. So you guess from us at Mabu Mabu. Yawo.
Thank you, Nornie.
Amazing,
Thank
Nornie.
you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I hope everybody enjoyed it. It was great. I was only listening in, but that was great, Nornie. And I'll make a damper when I get the recording. The session was recorded, everyone, so we will share it for a limited time on the website. If you need a reminder, if you want to make a few notes, we'll post that up on the RUSU website over the next couple of days. But I hope you've enjoyed this session, and yeah, send us an email or any feedback, and hopefully we can do something like this again. Thanks for tuning in to Jared and Shai for introducing yourself and having a chat to some students. It's been really good. Thanks everyone. I'll just calm the recording there.